I know, I know, I know you're impatient, but just hear me out.
Are we having fun yet?
I understand that it's really difficult to watch Spurs games and not see Josh Primo out there, but I think that I have a compelling argument that I've thought about quite a bit, got thought about extensively, to why Josh Primo is not getting a lot of NBA minutes and why it, if I'm being honest, frankly, makes a lot of sense. So before we do that, I do want to go ahead and say shout out to the Patreon members. Thus far, we got about 26. If anybody else want to support the channel, link in the description for that. So this is a conversation that I had with Swish Hill, and we talked for hours on the phone, okay? Hours about this. So support Swish Hill if you can. Go follow him, subscribe to him on YouTube. He makes great content. But let's go ahead and get into the topic of discussion. So Josh Primo, I'm going to try to make an argument for why he's in the G League and why it benefits him the most to get most of his minutes in the G League right now. So let's go ahead and talk about his previous game, this past game that he had. And he's a young player and he's going to struggle. But there's two things in particular that I want to, point at here. So Josh Primo went 8 for 22. He went 1 for 10 from 3. Now, those are pretty god-awful numbers, okay? They're god-awful, especially the 1 for 10 from 3. And he's going to make mistakes. He's going to struggle sometimes here and there. But he had 9 assists, and that's pretty great. But he had 5 turnovers. He had a steal and a block, and he was plus 13. But still, I don't know if it makes up for some of the other mishaps he had in the game. So with that being said, what I'm trying to say is Josh Primo getting 36 minutes in the G League and struggling 1 for 10 from 3 and 8 for 22 from the field. I think you have to keep things in perspective that if he was in a NBA game, there's no way fans would want him to stay in there. There's no way that Popovich would allow him to shoot 1 for 10. This is good that he's allowed to do it. The ball is in his court and he's getting reps. These players just want to play. At the end of the day, that's what they want. But that's what I want to point to. Look at his stats and then think about if he was in the NBA right now getting 36 minutes. There's no way. Okay. Now, another thing I want to point at too is Josh Primo, when you're in the G League, when these players are in the G League, they're actually having practices. A lot of the games are a little more spread out and they actually practice. When you're in the NBA, they don't have a lot of time to practice. And me and Swish Hill talked about this. Oftentimes that players and teams, they go straight to the next city. They sleep a night. They talk about some film. They go straight into the next game. It's as simple as that. They don't have a lot of practices. They don't have a lot of time to grow and become better players. Now, I know that we've been spoiled with players like Devin Vassell, who's just NBA ready as soon as he gets in there. But not everybody's like that. Josh Primo wasn't even supposed to be a lottery pick. He was definitely a player that is going to get better, right? And the Spurs had to go ahead and get him at that point because they knew someone was going to grab him pretty soon after. So they went ahead and grabbed him. But right now, he's only 18, man. He's still growing. He's still getting better. I have very high hopes for him, but I do understand he's going to make mistakes, and that's okay. But at the same time, you got to keep in mind, he's going to learn way more with the G League and coming to the Spurs, play a few minutes, and then go back to the G League where he can run the show and learn from other professionals. Now, I want to add this too, because there's this false narrative around the San Antonio Spurs community that's really, really irritating. So let's go ahead and talk about other draft picks, because people have this idea that every single draft pick or every single lottery pick don't play in the G League. Like lottery picks, they get all the playing time in the world, and that's not necessarily the case. If you're looking here, James Bouknight, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. He went ahead of Joshua Primo. You want to see where he was last night? Going against Joshua Primo. And he went 1 for 7 from 3. So these guys are still learning. They're still getting better, okay? Not only that, let's talk about a guy that you guys wanted, that a lot of us kind of wanted, actually. Kai Jones, 19 overall pick. Where was he last night? I wonder who he was. Oh, he was playing against Joshua Primo in the G League. So the notion that no team ever puts their draft picks in the G League and we're the only ones that do so, is just wrong. That doesn't happen. They understand that they have to get that playing time. They understand that they need those reps, and they understand they have room to grow. And not every single player coming out of the draft is NBA ready. And Josh Primo, while he does look comfortable, he does, and he is engaged, and I love to see him on the team. He's going to get some minutes, and I think at some point in this season, he's going to break through and be able to be in the NBA consistently. But right now, he's getting a lot of reps. He's getting a lot of learning right now, and I think that that's important, man. So I just wanted to make that case for Josh Primo, because I think that sometimes we look at things and we're just looking at the glass half empty, you know, and it's not necessarily like that. One more thing I want to go ahead and bring up too is, and this is actually Swish Hill's direct point as well, is that a lot of young guys in the NBA, they end up hurt. And with Josh Primo, I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to end up, you know, hurt or anything if he plays in the NBA, but a lot of young guys, it seems like that's happening more and more often over the last few years. And with Josh Primo still growing and him only being 18, it's an unnecessary risk right now. We got a pretty decent team. They have to play together. They're starting to actually run plays again, which is actually fun to see. And yeah, Josh Primo, he can do his thing in the G League, come back to the NBA for a few minutes, get some reps there, and he's good, man. Like, I think that we're really building a monster this way, but you have to allow him to have that space to play, and doing that in the NBA right now is not necessary right now. It's just not, okay? So, and I was saying this when we were losing, and I'm gonna say it when we win. It's okay that Josh Primo's in the G League right now. But I'll get with you guys later, man. Once again, if you guys want to support the channel, as always, link in the description for that. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support you guys do. Like, it's overwhelming, really. This channel's really growing, but I really appreciate it, and I'll get with you guys later, man. Till next time, deuces.